Alright guys, welcome back in this Megadeth album review series. Today we close out the 90s with 1999's Risk. Kind of a very minimalistic album cover here, just like a mousetrap. You fold it out, it kind of does a mousetrap deal. I know like the remastered version has a different album cover. It has like the cat kind of looking at the mouse, which is kind of cooler, but I got the original version here, and you can see that picture too within like the manual and all that. But this album, it's very aptly titled Risk, because the guys really took a risk here with this one. I mean, first off, this will be Marty Friedman's last one with the band, unfortunately. But that had to do with some of the creative risks and differences that were taken here, right? So pretty much, this album is hated by a lot of people, and we'll get into kind of why here on as we go along here. But we open it up here with the first track, Insomnia. I really like this one. All right, this is a really good track, really hooky kind of chant-like chorus, and you've got Dave kind of singing, growling over it during in the chorus and everything. So I think this is a really cool and a pretty heavy track that maybe could fit off something, like maybe euthanasia or something. I mean, it does have a little bit of a different feel to it, especially like in those vocals, like that kind of chant like vocals and stuff. But I really like Insomnia. I've always thought this was a really cool song. Then we get to Prince of Darkness, which a very different one here. Where people, I've heard people kind of hate on this one too, because it does have kind of like a moment where it almost sounds like kind of industrial-ish kind of sounding. I mean, obviously it's not like a Nine Inch Nails industrial track, right? But like there's like especially kind of in the beginning, there's kind of some moments there, but it gets pretty heavy and kind of chugging riff going on there. Once you kind of get deeper into the song, and I like the chorus. I really like this song. I mean, if you guys can't tell already, I mean, I'm kind of digging this, whereas other people definitely do not. Then we go with kind of this little interlude kind of deal, right, or a prelude to the track before. It's called Enter the Arena. Kind of like this kind of marching sound or whatever, kind of galloping sound, like there's about to be a battle or something going on. It's it is what it is. Just kind of prelude to the song "Crush 'Em," which is a pretty cool song. One of my least favorites off here, though, I would say, because to me, I mean, kind of the chant type deal going on here. "Crush 'em." It's a little corny, not my favorite, but I don't think this is a bad song. But it's definitely one of my least favorites off the album. But it's got it's cool sections, moments, or whatever, but just not one of my favorites. So as we've seen already, the guys have kind of done some risks with trying some different things here, and they really do here with the track Breadline, which was, I believe, one of the lead singles off here, which a lot of people hate. I kind of love this song, actually, right? And this is one of the cases, where I'm not trying to be controversial. I like this. This is a good track. One of the best off here. I mean, it kind of sounds like something that would be off of, Cryptic Writings or something, except, maybe a little bit more commercial sounding and a little bit softer and everything. But I like that main riff that Marty Friedman does, during the chorus. I love the vocal work and kind of the layering and the background vocals and everything on this one. And it's kind of got a really cool, concept to the song, lyrical themes and everything about, just trying to make what you can of life, even though if you're, dancing on the breadline, right? But I love Breadline. I think that's an awesome song, one of my favorites off here. Then we go with The Doctor Is Calling. This one's pretty cool, too. This one's got some heaviness to it as well. It kind of starts off with kind of like this spoken word kind of deal going on, which is cool and everything. And, Dave's done that before and some stuff. And I remember the first time I heard this album, this one wasn't one of my favorites or anything, but I really like it now, especially like after I've listened to this album several times over the years. But I really do like this song. and I think it's one of the better ones off here. And it's a really solid one. One that that's one again where I kind of or where it might turn some people away. Kind of this like long kind of spoken word kind of deal going on, but until it kind of really kicks in. But I love it. Doctor's Calling's a great song. Then we go with I'll Be There, which is a solid one. Not one of my favorites off here, but it's solid for what it is. Another one that's really kind of more commercial sounding. I really like the ending of this one, kind of the big crescendo kind of deal that goes on. So that's a really cool aspect of this one. Then we get to track number 8, which has always been my favorite off here, man. This one is too freaking good. It's heavy. I feel like it slipped under the cracks, even for people who hate this album, right? And I feel like they should definitely go at least listen to this song because Wanderlust, man, it just sounds like, an old West kind of, like there's about to be a shootout in an old town or whatever, it's just such a badass song. The riff is awesome. That chorus is so hooky in in every way. The melodies and just the badassery of it. I love the solo that's going on that Marty's delivering there at the end, the final portion there. And I love even in like the bridge where there's kind of like a little cool little bass lick going on from Dave Ellefson. But this is, I think it's a top tier Megadeth track. I know that's going to shock a lot of people, but Wanderlust is where it's at, man. That is amazing, amazing song, and one that is unfortunately swept off to the side because most people hate this album. Then we go with track number 9, Ecstasy. This is one I forgot about prior to this listen, but this one is kind of ranked up there for me. I really dig this one. The chorus is fun. A solid song, that doesn't overstay its welcome. Just kind of a solid Megadeth track that also sounds like maybe something that could be off like Cryptic Writings or something. Like kind of where it's not so commercial sounding, but it kind of is a little bit more so than Cryptic Writings. But really good song that I was glad to kind of delve back into after kind of not remembering what it went like. Let me go with 7, which is a really cool one too. Another one that I have kind of slept on in the past that have now kind of upon rediscovery, right, which is the beauty of these things. I really am digging. 7 has got a really cool riff going on. It also kind of has like this chuggy kind of heavy. This is one of like the heavier ones off here too. Much like Wanderlust, and Prince of Darkness, as you like, is another one of the heavier ones as well. But 7 is a really cool one that I definitely recommend, especially if you're not. I mean, it's got its kind of commercial moments to it, but again, it's one of the heavier ones off here. Then we get kind of like this. The final deal is kind of like a 2-parter. You get Time, the beginning, which is kind of like a acoustic, almost intro type deal to the track Time, the end, which is, so they kind of are grouped together, right? And I think these are both, grouped together, are very, very solid closing tracks. I think they do the job just fine. They're solid. I really kind of like how it's divided up, how it's kind of a softer track going on with Time, the beginning, really cool kind of acoustic stuff going, and then it leads into Time, the end, and kind of picks things up a little heavier again. So I think that's a solid ending to this thing. But yeah, if you can't tell, guys, I kind of really, really like this album. I kind of love this album. I know that's crazy, right? This is one where most people tapped out as far as Megadeth goes, and we're like, hey, these guys are done, right? But for me, even the first time I heard this one, I remember my younger brother warned me about, like, he had heard this album before I did, and he was like, hey, what Megadeth album are you listening to next? And I remember him telling me, like, I told him, I was like, well, Risk is the next one in line, and he was like, oh, that was dog shit. So I listened to it, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of don't mind this, and that was years ago. But every time I've listened to this, I've had a blast with it. It's a very different album, definitely a standout in their discography as far as like creativity goes. Again, they took a risk, which maybe is why they called the album Risk. I don't know, but I really like Risk, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this one. This will be a very interesting one, another kind of controversial album for the band. So yeah, guys, I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Do you guys like this one? Do you guys hate it? You guys kind of at least respect it and appreciate some of the stuff off here. And, of course, that means next time we're going to be looking at the first album of the 2000s and the first album without Marty Friedman on guitar, actually, and in such a long time. The first time, I mean, of course, Marty wasn't on the albums prior to Rust in Peace, but the first he had a long stretch with the band, and it'll be A World Needs a Hero. So we'll get going with that. I believe that one came out in 2001 or 2000, one or the other. But we'll get to take a look at that, and of course, guys, I really want to thank you all again for all tuning in here. Like I made that post the other day about the channel. We're going to kind of get things going here and be able to post more consistently and kind of jump this thing and try to get it to the next level, because this has been so much fun. I appreciate all you guys who have stuck here by me and everything. And we're just going to keep rolling with this thing and keep it going. And I'm going to try to pump out a lot more content and a lot more consistent pace. That way we can kind of, see if we can do some growth on this thing and get some more of you guys commenting, some more views to chat it up with down there about metal, wrestling, horror movies, whatever it is we end up going with. But stay tuned for a lot of cool stuff, guys. I have some other new ideas I've got bouncing around that I'm going to probably be doing as well. So stay tuned for all that, guys. And thanks, like, subscribe, and comment.